Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to She Wants Everything. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. I spent a good 25 minutes of my afternoon today, right before this, to try and set up this whole thing here. I just did not want to hold the microphone anymore, and I had this mount, but the way that my desk is in my dorm is that it won't let me mount it. I'm trying my best here. Um, anyways. I also do have a second cup of coffee with me right now, and do I think this is a really good idea to have it over my white bed sheets and my laptop and my microphone? No, probably not. And I'm also wearing a white shirt, so maybe not, but you know what? Good vibes only, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Today, it really feels like spring/summer. And I'm just in a good mood, guys. I'm in a good mood. Speaking of good moods, today I want to talk about living in the present. I feel like living in the present is honestly one of the hardest skills to have in 2023, in my humble opinion, of course. Being present, according to the internet, means being fully conscious of the moment and free from the noise of internal dialogue. That's really hard to do. I think it's really, really hard to have this skill in complete control, especially in this day and age. I think being present is a skill, unfortunately, a lot of us, including myself, lack. I have to train myself to be in the moment. It's something that I definitely am not the best at. It's something that I haven't mastered yet. I know a lot of people who love to harp on the past. They love to poke at the past. They love to just live literally in the past. All their trophies, all their good things, bad things, everything is about a memory that is already past. And I know a lot of people like me who are futurist. Everything that I think of is only about the future. I was actually walking the other day with my friend here, and we were going to the river, and we were just talking about life as two girls do in New York City. And she was like, "You know what, Rachel? You're such a futurist." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "You're such a futurist. You're always thinking about the future. Everything that you talked about right now is literally has everything to do with the future and nothing about the past." Because she struggled with only thinking about the past and how easy things used to be as a kid for her in high school. And she's struggling with now being present in the moment as a college student. And I personally struggle with everything in the future. I don't really look back at the past, to be completely honest. I don't have many regrets. Even all the big, horrible things that might have happened or things that in the moment probably weren't the smartest and best idea. I think there's always something to learn from the past. And that's the only reason why I would really go back there. And honestly, I think I get my futuristic mindset from my mom. I know a lot of people get nervous about the future or anxious about it. And honestly, me too. I'm right there with you. I get super nervous. I think I overthink a lot of things about the future. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I really gonna end up alone? Am I never gonna get married? I need to finish college. How am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to start this and do that? And I get into my head quite a lot because I'm a lot of the times, unfortunately, only thinking about the outcome. And this is something that I am intentionally trying to work on every day. Literally every day I wake up and I intentionally try to fight this. I also used to love to rush things. I used to love to rush assignments or places that I need to be. I need to rush in the car, speed in the car to get to my next appointment, to get to the next birthday party. When I'm walking here, I used to, I think, just try to rush and get to my class wherever I need to be in the destination and whatever is after the walk, instead of just looking around me and enjoying the city as I walk to my next class. I think this being present thing really clicked with me when I realized a lot of the times when my family would go out to dinner, all four of us would be on our phones, or two of us would be on our phones. And it's really hard to have a conversation with someone. It's hard to create a memory with someone when you're just on your phone. And same with my friends. A lot of my friends, unfortunately, would just be on their phones constantly and like Snapchat each other in the same room. And it just really irked me in a really bad way. I used to get super aggravated because it was just annoying to me that I drove this way or I come out this way and I take out the time of my day, and yet people, all they want to do is just be on their phones and not have an actual conversation, even if it's about the stupidest thing or talking about something or creating a memory. And it comes from the lack of the lack of skill to be present. And in my mind, I just was more like, why are we even here if we're not willing to be in each other's presence? And I also just couldn't live in the present moment. I think growing up, that's just how I always was. I was the kid who was like 8 years old and telling my mom, I can't wait till I get my license. I cannot wait to get my permit. Can't wait till I turn 15 and a half. And then 15 and a half comes around. I can't wait to get my license. Then I get my license. I can't wait to get a car. Then I got a car. I can't wait to graduate high school because I'm so done. And it's just like the same thing would happen over and over again. I can't wait to leave the house. I can't wait to do that. I can't wait till that thing comes around. And eventually, all those things came around. Eventually, I got my first credit card like I wanted to. I separated my account from my mom. I got my first drink. I got my first car. I got my first admissions to college. And a lot of these firsts came around, and a lot of these experiences came around that I was dying and longing for. And yet, I think a lot of the times when I do reflect, unfortunately, those times when I was just too into the future and I was just planning too far ahead and I just couldn't wait to get to a certain destination, I forgot what was in front of me then. And I forgot about the people that was in front of me then. I forgot to nurture myself in that moment. I forgot to nurture my relationships in those moments and in those years, because all I was looking forward to was a certain end goal. And me looking forward to that certain end goal didn't result in me being any happier than I was before. Of course, it's pleasure. It's pleasurable when you get a first materialistic thing, or it's nice when you get that acceptance letter to your dream college, but at the same time, I don't remember a lot, because when I look back, I was just kind of zipping through life like it was like I was living for the next 5 years instead of in that present moment. Um, and again, this is still something that I really struggle with. It's really hard when I'm so, and it's weird too, because I'll be with a group of people sometimes, or even just my friends, and I'll be like trying to text somebody else because I didn't answer them before time. So now I'm taking this time to text that person, another person that I'm not with. And that makes me not present. And that doesn't make me a better friend, doesn't make me a better daughter, doesn't make me a better whatever. And I think staying present requires a lot of it's an intentional effort, from myself, and to kind of unlearn the habits that I picked up ever since I had a phone, especially, I would say. And ever since I was young, I've always had a habit to just not think about now and only worry about the future. And I think that creates a lot of anxiety for myself, actually. I think a lot of the times I don't realize that a lot of the things and resources and opportunities that I have around me currently will serve me a greater purpose, and help me leverage what I can right now that will eventually impact my future later. But me sitting here not doing anything about everything and only worrying about what's coming ahead of me, or what is going to happen in 5 years, only makes me feel overwhelmed and filled with anxiety. Um, and so I decided to really kind of intentionally start to make and effort when I'm home with my family. Like something that I'll do is like I'll leave my phone in my room. I'll leave my phone in my room when I go out to the family room and we have family time, because I don't see a purpose in having my phone next to me and texting all my friends or Snapchatting or going on Instagram when there are people in front of me that, you know, are important to me. I really try hard every single time I go out with a friend to not go on my phone and try to really be there, and create conversations, whether it's like really deep or just stupid. Like, it's better than me not enjoying the moment. And even when I'm doing my schoolwork, I think this is something that's really has changed from high school, is that when I'm doing my schoolwork, I don't try to rush through it. I understand that if it takes me 47 minutes versus 40, that's okay. 7 more minutes is not going to kill me. And it's also just being in the moment and genuinely trying to learn what is being taught to me. I used to do this a lot in high school, where I would just try to get an assignment over with so that I just could move on to the next task. And I don't think I don't benefit from it at all. One, I don't learn anything because I'm just trying to rush through things. Two, it's a waste of my time if I'm not learning anything. And futurist. But I also do observe people around me, and I know there's a lot of people who just love to poke at the past constantly. And from my observation, I just gotta say, like, we gotta let it go. I think sometimes memory also makes you a little delusional. Like, you think it was better than it actually was, or you think it worse than it actually was. If we had a time machine and if we could go back to what you're thinking about and that memory that you're constantly fantasizing about, you would probably realize that you actually don't want to be there anymore. And if it was a good thing and if it was a great, happy time, that's amazing. I just don't think it's worth creating your present memories now with the history that you have. I think it's always better to try and like learn from that and grow from that and get that feeling back, but with new people or the same people in just a different way. Like there's no reason to only talk about the past. I would say for me, when I look at my past, I try to take things and tweak it now and improve to align with the present day. Obviously, all of this is easier said than done, to be obvious. It's not easy, but if you really want to try to improve in enjoying life, I think being present is something that's super key. Even in, like, during the horrible, sucky times. I know, like, when we're going through sucky times, you just want it to pass. But we have to understand that it is going to pass, because time is always moving. The sun is always rising and setting. The world does not stop just because we had a sucky day. And time is never going to stop. It's something that we can never get back. And in a lot of ways, time is worth more than money. Okay, guys, last time I recorded this, I thought that my microphone would cut out the sirens, but it's not, so we're just gonna wait for this to pass. I think there's a lot of power in understanding the present day and current moments, because it is the journey. And I know we hear a lot of the times, like, you just enjoy the journey, but sometimes the journey just is like not what you were expecting, and in like the worst way possible. You weren't expecting to be let go of that job. You weren't expecting, for someone close to you pass away. You weren't expecting for you to go bankrupt. Obviously, when sucky things happen, it probably was not part of your plan. And I know, like, in those moments, it's disappointing and it's sad, and it can just honestly wreck you. However, I think those are the times where being present is more important than ever, because you're going to remember this feeling. You're going to remember feeling this horrible and this bad. But if you just have the opportunity and if you have the skill to just let time pass, be in the present moment, understand how horrible this feels, and take that, use that anger, use that frustration, and put it into something even greater and bigger. And whether that's a new passion project, or whether you put that effort into your schoolwork, your workouts, I don't know. Whatever you're doing with your life, you're going to be able to reflect back one day and be like, wow, I was at the lowest of my low and I got through that. Now I can get through anything. Now I can do another day. If something bad happens to me again, I know how to accept it. I know how to embrace it. Maybe it's not going to be the same exact way that it's happened before. But this time, I'm also going to be present, understand how this feels, and try to really, right now, embrace the journey. I have a really bad controlling tendency when it comes to my life a lot of the times. And I've tried to kind of, again, unlearn the bad skills that I learned about controlling and just try to reteach myself and relearn. I try to imagine all the time how things should have been or could have been or the cards that I could have been dealt with. But at the end of the day, I also understand that I'm in this position for a reason, and me harping on everything that I don't have is not going to get me to the place where I want to be. And I don't have control. I don't have control over an outcome or situation where I'm going to be in 5 years, where I'm going to be in the next 5 minutes. And I have to have faith in the invisible success, knowing that right now, whatever I'm doing right now is the most important thing ever. Whatever I'm doing right now for myself is the best that I can do. Because I cannot time travel and go into the future and finish a task there and then come back here. Life doesn't work that way. That's like fantasy. That's a freaking cartoon that you see on Nickelodeon when you're 6. But right now, literally right now, me making this podcast is the opportunity to talk to you guys and opportunity to make something of myself and feel like I'm trying to do something with my life and handle the situations that I have in right now in my life the best that I can. One of the biggest things that's helped me to be present is to, guys, like seriously, be grateful for the littlest things possible. I wake up every day, and before I get out of my bed, I just say 3 things in my mind that I'm grateful for. Simple. Like the simplest things I think we really, as a society, take for granted. I take for granted that I have an education. I can take for granted that I am able to walk with my 2 legs, that I'm able to study, that I'm able to do this podcast. And if I could go back and tell my 7-year-old self, 1, to calm down, chill out, dude, chill out. Because at the end of the day, we're all getting older, and just enjoy being a kid. Like, just enjoy your childhood. Yeah, things might have not been completely perfect, but I had every opportunity to have an amazing child, and I still had a great childhood. Let's not get this twisted, okay? I had a great childhood. I had my grandparents. I had my mom. I mean, I still have them. But I think something that I wish I did as a kid and wish I did as a teen was to just enjoy what I have now. And learn to be okay with it, learn to be more than okay with it, and embrace the awkwardness and hormones of being a teen, and embrace the memories that I'm making right now as a middle schooler, and try not to grow up so fast, because you grow up faster than you could probably imagine. That was me. Thanks, guys, for tuning in today. Hopefully I gave you some practical tips on how to be present. And my thoughts on being present and my struggles. She wants everything. Wants everything, fam. There's a siren. That's my cue to leave. So, kumbaya, friends. I don't know what that means. I just know that people say it.